hỡi các đại nghĩa sĩ tân dân chủ, hỡi các anh chị em máu thịt Việt Nam. Chúng ta do dân tộc mà hình thành, vì dân chúng mà đấu tranh. Đứng dậy này, truyền cho đến mãi mãi muôn muôn về sau, là màu mỡ cho đất đai, là kết tụ của tiếng Việt, là tự hào, là di sản cho con cháu. Tinh và hồn luôn luôn cùng sông núi. Sống thì phải cho lẫm liệt, mà thác cũng phải đáng tự hào, bất khuất và hùng anh.
Trân trọng kính mời Đức Quốc công Đào Minh Quân, Tổng thống Việt Nam Cộng hòa đệ tam, cùng tất cả quý đồng nhiệm trong chính phủ quốc gia Việt Nam lâm thời đệ tam Việt Nam Cộng hòa, làm lễ chào quốc kỳ quốc ca Việt Nam Cộng hòa. Bắt đầu.
Cả chú ơi, chào tôi, chào.
Này công dân ơi, đứng lên đáp lời sông núi, đồng lòng cùng đi hy sinh tiếc gì hơn sao, vì tương lai quốc dân cùng sống và khói tinh, làm sao cho núi sông từ nay luôn vững bền, cho thấy phơi trên gương dao.
Chúng tôi trân trọng kính chào Đức Quốc công Đào Minh Quân, Tổng thống Việt Nam Cộng hòa đệ tam, và kính chào quý khán giả. Trân trọng kính mời Đức Quốc công và quý vị cùng chúng tôi nghiêm trang dâng lời cầu nguyện. Chúng con là các thành viên đồng nhiệm của Chính phủ Quốc gia Việt Nam lâm thời đệ tam Việt Nam Cộng hòa. Nguyện xin đấng tối cao, Thượng Đế, Trời Phật và hồn thiên sông núi, các bậc tiền nhân anh hùng dựng nước và giữ nước, xin phù hộ độ trì ban phước lành cho chúng con. Xin che chở cho đất nước và đồng bào thân yêu của chúng con được thoát khỏi cộng sản và nạn chiến tranh tàn phá. Xin bảo vệ Đức Quốc công Tổng thống Đào Minh Quân và tất cả những nhà ái quốc chân chính. Xin cho chúng con thêm khôn ngoan, đoàn kết, nhẫn nại, can đảm, sáng suốt để cùng với Chính phủ Quốc gia Việt Nam lâm thời đệ tam Việt Nam Cộng hòa dẫn đưa dân tộc Việt Nam vượt qua cơn hiểm nghèo đến bến bờ hạnh phúc, vinh quang, trường cửu, mọi nhà được an hưởng thái bình, thịnh trị của thời Thượng Ngôn Thánh Đức. Xin gìn giữ và tôi luyện cho chúng con tinh thần Việt Nam chân chính. Sống thì phải cho lẫm liệt, mà thác cũng phải đáng tự hào, bất khuất và hùng anh, đúng theo gương sáng của vị lãnh đạo tinh thần của chúng con đã tuyên xưng.
và chiếu trên khắp quê hương Việt Nam, trưng cầu dân ý sách bóng hung nô tham tàn, chiều chiều người dân hân hoan bầu cho xứng danh, bầu đào minh quân thương dân vì nước quên mình, đoàn kết chung dựng xây tổ quốc ta kiêu hùng, rồi một ngày mai tương lai Việt Nam sáng tươi, một trời hạnh phúc sống thiên đường giữa thế gian, quê hương Việt Nam trưng cầu dân ý sách bóng.
Tổ nghĩa đường, the gathering place for the hearts of truthfulness, compassion, forbearance. Tổ nghĩa đường has existed for the past 34 years since 1988. It is located in the Adelanto Desert, California, USA. Imperial Duke President Đào Minh Quân has built this place to remember the country of Vietnam and to establish the standing office of the Provisional National Government of Vietnam and personal training. This is the place to gather the hearts of truthfulness, compassion, forbearance, who live according to the example of Imperial Duke President Đào Minh Quân to plan and create, to give life and meaning to the purpose that Vietnamese people truly live freely in this world. Tổ nghĩa đường was built on 40 acres of land. It is a desert land, so during the day, the temperature can reach up to 54 degrees Celsius. And at night, the temperature can drop as low as -10 degrees Celsius, which was described as hot as burning hell during the day and bone-chilling at night because of the addition of bitter winds and sandstorms. There are no species living there except wild animals such as wild wolves, rabbits, and rattlesnakes. There is almost no rain throughout the whole year. Known from ancient times to be the sea, over time by the Earth's physical system, it has changed to become a vast and lonely desert of golden sand. The periphery of the 40-acre Tổ nghĩa đường is inhabited by indigenous Mexicans. Later, Imperial Duke purchased 20 acres outside of the indigenous area, expanding the area of the Tổ nghĩa đường desert to 60 acres. Next to this land is a military airport, the Logistic Air Force of the United States. It is worth remembering that the works built in this desert from the beginning were personally done by the Imperial Duke President Đào Minh Quân, soldier of the 4th Marine Battalion, Tran Van Am, Parachute Lieutenant Nguyen Bill Chung, follower of Cao Dai, Mr. Lưu Sương, and some members of the New Vietnamese Democracy Movement, along with his 2 sons, created with their own hands to show their sincere heart to God, heaven, earth, and train themselves. Therefore, whether it was a cold winter or a scorching summer, they worked diligently with rudimentary shovels and axes. Later, it was further modified by members of the Provisional National Government of Vietnam. We can see the spirit, strength, and love in the construction works from their sweat and effort. It should be emphasized that their hearts and effort have brought value to Tổ nghĩa đường. The main gate of Tổ nghĩa đường welcomes the south, which is the direction of harmony, and ventilation receives the sun but avoids the harsh sunlight, keeping warm in winter and cool in summer. It is also usually the main gate of the Imperial Citadel, Royal Palace in ancient times. We will see the address 10,800 Sierra Road, Adelanto, California 92301. 800 is a number given by the Imperial Duke to indicate that 800 years ago, his ancestor, Holy Spirit Duke Tran Hung Dao, passed away. It carries the soul of the ancestor who defeated the powerful northern invaders 3 times, a reminder of the heroic, indomitable spirit of the Vietnamese people from ancient times. At the center of this land of Tổ nghĩa đường is the hero gathering station, known as Tổ nghĩa Đài. Its foundations consist of 3 circles, and the flag pedestal consists of 3 square blocks, that are stacked on top of each other from large to small. According to the Vietnamese concept, it resembles a symbol of heaven and earth. The flagpole is in the middle, firmly reaching up to the sky. On the top of it is the national yellow flag of Vietnam with 3 red stripes fluttering proudly in the free sky. Under its foundation, Imperial Duke buried the ashes of a mother and 3 children who tragically died in a basket boat that drifted to Pulau Tengah, Malaysia, and was brought here by his family. He had compassion and respect for the mother and her children, who risked their lives to escape the communist regime. So he tried to bring their ashes and bury them under the foundation of BÅ NGOA I GIAO to fulfill their aspirations for freedom. A tragic but extremely noble story about the example of a resilient Vietnamese woman who dared to risk the life of herself and her beloved children to seek freedom and denounce the atheistic, immoral and inhumane communist regime. It was her story that created a beautiful, noble value for the Tổ nghĩa đường. After the ashes of the mother and children were buried under Tổ nghĩa Đê, when its foundation had not yet been built, a thicket of neem trees naturally grew nearby. This kind of plant is suitable only for soil conditions and tropical weather, usually found in the western part of Vietnam, which has never been seen in the United States. However, they appeared and grew up here on their own in a large bush with many trees together. The appearance of this tree seems to prove the story of Vietnamese people fleeing the communists to seek freedom. It is a reminder of the lesson of an unbreakable bunch of chopsticks. It's about the solidarity of the Vietnamese nation. It is the strong vitality from the steadfast that will overcome the adversity of the Vietnamese people through the example of the Imperial Duke who has a hard practice in the Adelanto Desert. It is also a sign from heaven about the righteous and humane works in harmony with God to serve humanity, which Imperial Duke Đào Minh Quân is instructing those who follow his leadership to walk together. Immediately after building the Tổ nghĩa Đê, the Imperial Duke also built a stele worshipping the 5 gods general to honor Generals Pham Van Phu, Nguyen Qua Nam, Ly Van Hung, Tran Van Hai, and Ly Nguyen V. They are the resilient warriors of the Second Republic of Vietnam who bravely sacrificed themselves for their country, a priceless sacrifice for eternal posterity to be grateful and faithfully remembered and followed. They put the country first before the family. They traded their lives for the safety of their compatriots. Imperial Duke carved on the stele the words in solemnity and respectfully, live as the general, die as the god. As the 3rd President of the Republic of Vietnam, he decided to give a 1-star promotion to each of the 5 god generals. Later, Brigadier General Kelly Trill, Brigadier General Ninh Bui, Brigadier General Nguyen Pham, and Major General Tran Khan had the merit to remodel the 5 gods generals stele. Aligned with the 5 gods general stele beside Tổ nghĩa Đê is the unknown warriors stele, which was built by the Imperial Duke himself to commemorate the unknown heroes and compatriots who sacrificed for the cause of freedom. They are soldiers who have fought side by side with the people through historical periods and finally fell for the country to be peaceful and free. When soldiers entered the war, they accepted death that could come at any time to protect the country and people. But innocent people who encountered the war were not prepared. They were also not included in any of the legions. In war, when facing evil and bloodthirsty communist enemies, death came to them more often than to the soldiers, especially when they were not trained or equipped with weapons. However, when facing the enemy, they had to fight with any weapon they could get their hands on to protect their loved ones and themselves. They naturally became soldiers. It was the soldiers who were nameless in any legion. They lived and died fiercely and heroically, not inferior to any heroic general. The unknown warriors dearly at Tổ Nghĩa Đường is to honor the nameless heroes of Vietnam who lived bravely and died heroically. In addition, it is also for the Imperial Duke to remind himself during his cultivation at Tổ Nghĩa Đường to be patient and persistent. No matter how difficult it is, he must not give up. And now it is to remind all of us, the Vietnamese people, to follow Đào Minh Quân spirit, to be true Vietnamese, as his word inscribed on the stele of the unknown warriors, stele and his summons. Life must be fierce, death must also be proud, indomitable and heroic. A third construction was built in the early days of Tổ Nghĩa Đường, which is the Holy Temple. When the Holy Temple was newly built, the Imperial Duke was offered a statue of Quan Yin Bodhisattva by Bhikkhu Thích Đàn Phap because the Imperial Duke helped lay the first stone to build the monastery, according to the wish of the monk. That is the Chan Nguyen Zen Monastery today. This became a place to worship the Buddha of compassion and benevolence, the symbol of all that a mother desires for the happiness of her children, the presence of God who is always by their side and listens to sentient beings. It means that the blessing of Almighty God and Buddha pour here in Tổ Nghĩa Đường. Right next to the Holy Temple, we see a desert tree shaped like a cactus. It was a place to shelter from the sun for Imperial Duke to meditate in the desert during the first years of hard self-training in Tổ Nghĩa Đường. This arid desert region has almost no rain all year round. Initially, Imperial Duke had to walk a long distance to bring water to use. Thinking of drilling for water was like going to the sky, but he still did it. After days of drilling, the contractors were hopeless and were about to give up. The Imperial Duke had to accept a bet with them, asking them to drill into this place. If there was still no water, he would have to pay them double. If there was water, they would not take any wages. As a result, a source of fresh, cool water was drilled. During a long time without food in the Tổ Nghĩa Đường, the Imperial Duke survived and was cured of all diseases such as chronic asthma, thanks to this water. This can be considered blessing water. The limousine car with the number plate Đào 8 was specially produced by Limousine from 1986 to 1988, and it was completed, demonstrating the time when Imperial Duke President Đào Minh Quân was a millionaire businessman in California, the owner of companies such as Dow Computer Incorporated, Pacific Trading and Consulting, Vietnamese Business Magazine, Limousine Services, and member of the host committee of Republican Party of the United States of America. But he gave up all his fame, fortune, good wife, good children, and youth to move to the desert, to meditate for more than 20 years to find a way to liberate his homeland and mankind. The construction of the Hexagon Monument was started in 2019. It's a structure constructed consisting of 6 tall and wide black walls. Each wall has 2 sides and is supported by 2 pillars of marble, forming a hexagon. A total of 12 wall sides engraved with the names of 58,721 American comrades in arms who sacrificed for Vietnam. Imperial Duke President Đào Minh Quân and his comrades, with their own hands and sincere hearts, have completed this memorial construction of the American heroes to be forever carved here on the walls of this hexagon monument as well as forever engraved in the hearts of generations of the Republic of Vietnam and Vietnamese people. This work and the surrounding lawns were completed with the voluntary and dedicated help of members of the government, including Brigadier General Nguyen Hue Tri, who drew the diagram, assisted by Colonel Do Duc Tin. The soldiers were labelled, included Brigadier General Hoa Trung Van, Brigadier General Greg Ninh Bui, Brigadier General Nguyen Nan, Brigadier General Tammy Huynh Tam, Brigadier General Tran Can, Colonel Tran Van Am, Colonel To Van Duc, Colonel Nguyen Vinh Phuc, Lieutenant Colonel Lee Dong, Major Nguyen Hoang Phuc, and Mr. Nguyen Xuan Hua. Initially, the hall was just a simple hut, with the permanent office sign being moved from Garden Grove, Orange County, California. After many renovations, it became a new hall. In the middle of the hall, the Imperial Duke established a place for memorial for the national spirit of Vietnam. Here, all ancestors from many generations of Vietnam are revered and remembered at the altar of the fatherland. On both sides are the altars of the late presidents of Republic of Vietnam, first President Ngo Dinh Diem and second President Nguyen Vam Thieu. Their names are associated with Vietnam, once the Asian dragon, the Far Eastern Pearl that the world's friends admired, along with the illustrious reputation of the ARVN, with the heroic feats in all 4 tactical regions, the courageous Bin Long, the heroic Con Tam. The Vietnamese people consider the 2 late presidents to be the people who laid the foundation for the government of the Republic of Vietnam. After Vietnam was invaded by communists, most people who did not accept the communist regime left their homeland to seek refuge in free countries on April 30, 1975. After arriving in the United States, the Imperial Duke Đào Minh Quân continued to fight for the dissolution of the communist regime in his homeland. He enlightened and continued the Republic and was elected the 3rd President of the Republic of Vietnam by the people on November 11, 2018. In this desert, he practiced meditation for more than 20 years in the hope of finding a solution to dissolve the communist regime in Vietnam. His sincerity was enlightened by heaven, ushered in the Mind Truth Revolution, and implemented the New People's Doctrine to liberate Vietnam and open the path of peace for humanity. This place became the base of the PNGVN to train many talented heroes who have been gathering here to learn the example of truthfulness, compassion, forbearance of Imperial Duke, to become righteous people and contribute together with him to promote justice, cause and bring peace and prosperity to the people of Vietnam as well as humanity around the world. History has been recording what has happened here from the time it was founded until now, as well as into the future. It's just like the poem titled BÅ NGOA I GIAO that Imperial Duke composed in 1990. I come back here, and the fragrance of wisdom spreads around. The waterless desert that trains my mind. The burning heat day and the boiling chilling night challenge the hero's will. The bitter winds and sandstorms that fight with me here in BÅ NGOA I GIAO. The rotten roots and dried branches gathering here from 8 directions. The young shoots and colourful leaves are in bloom everywhere, waiting for National Fortune Day. The Dow's flag flutters. 5 colour clouds will bring the dragon to the homeland. BÅ NGOA I GIAO is a museum for the Vietnamese, as well as the Americans and their allies. It is a place for the Vietnamese to reflect on how far they went to win their country's freedom when their country was in communist hands. It is the convergence of all the hearts of truthfulness, compassion, forbearance, the righteous people around the world towards the same goal of making humanity's dream of peaceful coexistence come true. This is also the place to learn about a great man who overcame all difficulties to find a way to liberate his country and people, dedicating to humanity a peaceful path to find heaven on earth. Imperial Duke President Đào Minh Quân, the orthodox descendant of both the royal family and the loyalist family of Đại Việt, who is being petitioned by the people to become Emperor of Vietnam and initiate the new people era, building a government for the world. On the occasion of the 4th anniversary of the presidential coronation day of Imperial Duke Đào Minh Quân as President of the Third Republic of Vietnam, on November 11, 2022, the Provisional National Government of Vietnam will organize the inauguration ceremony of the Hexagon Monument in Tổ Nghĩa Đường, 10,800 Sierra Road, Adelanto, California, 92301, USA, on November 11, 2022, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and at the Delta Hotels Garden Grove, 12,021 Harbor Boulevard, Garden Grove, California, 92840, USA, on November 12, 2022, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It is also the gala of the Vietnamese people and military to petition Imperial Duke President Đào Minh Quân as Emperor of Vietnam. We invite our comrades, veterans, ARN allies, and Vietnamese compatriots to attend, to personally touch each name engraved on the black wall of the Hexagon Monument in memory and honor of the American heroes who died for freedom, and to attend the special event of the conference, Happy for Vietnam to have an Emperor. Please contact the organizing committee by phone number Lieutenant General Lam on area code 403-831-6672 or Brigadier General Huynh, area code 949-377-4060 or email thirdrepublicofvietnam@gmail.com, that is 3rdrepublicofvietnam@gmail.com, or vptt@cpqgvnlt.com or btlcltq@gmail.com or diplomatic@cpqgvnlt.com. Please RSVP before October 11, 2022. Honor support $5,000 USD plus VIP guest $500 USD or guest $150 USD. Remark: gala attire, and we will send or email you invitation upon request confirmation. For further information, please visit the websites https://www.hexagonmonument.com or https://www.chinphpuqocja.com or https://www.governmentoftheworld.net.
Tương lai Việt Nam sáng tươi, một trời hạnh phúc sống trên đường đưa thế gian. Chừng cầu dân ý, mẫu đào minh quân. Chừng cầu dân ý, mẫu đào minh quân. Chừng cầu dân ý, mẫu đào minh quân. Chừng cầu dân ý, mẫu đào minh quân.
Đào Minh Quân anh hùng cứu nguy dân Việt, quên thân mình ngày ngày chung lo việc nước. Một lời thề vì dân chiến đấu, không ngại ngùng vì nước hy sinh cho muôn đời tổ quốc quang vinh. Việt Nam Đào Minh Quân, dân đang chờ ngày vui no ấm, xóa tan bao nỗi lầm than. Việt